Hey, what's going on, guys? Been a little bit since I made a video. No more quite bored for right now. Here, I actually do something. Been pretty lazy, and then I'm like, hey, I got these 8 acres or whatever. I might as well use these woods. And it was hotter. It was like a heat index of 115 like 2 weeks ago. Now it's more manageable. It's only like 90 today, so my heat index is probably 93, 95. So not too bad. This is in central Indiana. So imagine you Carolina guys or deep south guys are really feeling it. And I just want to, nothing too crazy today. So on your woods walks, I've realized something. There's a spider web right here. There's a bunch of them in the woods, and you can use that as training. So imagine if they're natural tripwires. So you take your rifle, you just cut little thin cords that come off the main matrix. And then you can just do that. Just keep moving. And I don't know, I was just thinking about that, and I was like, it's kind of like nature's tripwire or whatever. Plus, you get right into one of these in your face, and there's this big wolf spider there or whatever. That's pretty gross. I hate spiders. Anyways, it's kind of a beautiful day out today. Nothing too much is going on. Someone's mowing somewhere way back. And nothing too exciting. Just, remind yourselves, get off your butts occasionally and get out there and do the stuff, right? Oh, this might be the first video I've had with this new paint job I did to my rifle. Well, it's a few weeks old. And, I got my boonie, and then I got this mesh scarf, which is actually pretty handy. I had some mosquitoes fly in my face. So, you just lower it like this. And then I sprayed all the stuff with bug spray, different kinds. Especially that whole white dot tick thing or whatever. Make sure you spray your gear down with anti-tick, bug repellent, mosquito repellent, because it will find a way in and it will get you. And so it's just one of those things, it's not going to kill you. But, this thing bites me. I'm still going to eat meat. I don't give a shit. I'll die eating meat. No. No tick's going to stop me. But Lyme disease is a real thing. Thank you, scientists of Plum Island, for that little genetic treat. Do your research. Anyways, what else? World's a weird place lately, right? A lot of stuff going on. We're back at it with Iran. Now, my thoughts on this were initially that, maybe like a 90-day campaign. Airstrikes, weaken them, soften them. Let the indigenous Iranians go in and, take care of business because that's their place. That's their whole field. And none of that has happened. This has been a major setback. I'm wrong on this. I really hoped it would blow over quick and fast, and the Iranians would take over, but they have not. And so shows how much I know. Anyone can be wrong. And this is just a big waste of resources and time at this point. And then you have other countries in the Near East being opportunistic and taking advantage of stuff, and now we're trying to link up our military apparatus with foreign countries that we shouldn't. I mean, if we don't have a history doing this with UK or main Central European powers, which we're descended from mostly, why in the fuck would we do it for these guys when we've been around for like 70 years? Makes no sense. Well, it does make sense if you know where to look. And that's worrisome because that could start bills or laws that could regulate your speech and your thought crime, right? Online. So you have to be wary of that. That portion aside, you should always be worried about the encroachment of federal powers for the greater good. You have to have some federal powers. You have to have some regulation because people are dumbasses in general, and that is definitely true. But there's a balancing act where, okay, enough to protect the people, and then enough to tell the people how to live, and then we know what's better, and we're just going to take over. This goes back to tribal folk at the beginning of civilization. Different technology, different people, same story. Anyways, with all that aside, I had to rant a little bit. Summertime, Indiana. I got my good old Woodland M81, a combat shirt, because it's ventilates a lot better. Another cool thing, I think I had a video where you just take a regular BDU top and you just cut the sleeves off for a combat, and you can throw over a combat top, and that way you still have the capacity to draw in pockets and whatnot. But this is a pretty light rig. I'm just wearing my chest rig, nothing too exciting here. Let me take a step back. My general purpose rifle, you know, with a foregrip, and I'm not getting into that whole retarded debate. Yeah, that's it. This is just a, oh, and I got my snake gaiters, so, you know, they guard your shins and your lower extremities from whatever, brambles, sharp pieces of wood, snake bites, spider bites, whatever. I mean, we can't all wear chainmetal armor and be enclosed like head to toe. So, you know, you have to pick the area where you're most vulnerable. Definitely recommend, if you're going to be in the woods, even if you know it, you don't know what's in there when you're not in there. So, you know, wear some protection, you know. It was looking pretty good. Go to Woodland blending in. Actually, as you can see in the shade, looks great. And if I can, let's see here. You can see the sunlight. Probably not. This Woodland is a darker version. There's other Woodlands that are lighter. And basically, you're not going to be hanging out in sunlight anyways. You're going to be picking shaded areas to take a break, get some relief, concealment, that whole thing. So, know your terrain, know the time of day. Dirty Civilian just put out a really awesome video about surviving in the high desert, but there's some really cool stuff about, you know, bushes and just a little 8-inch trough, enough to get your body in, and, you know, take it easy for a bit. And, you know, these woods in temperate forests are very humid. Not as humid as you guys in the Carolinas or Florida and all that, or Louisiana, but, you know, still pretty humid. And, so water is very important. I'm like less than a mile from where I live, so I'm not worried about water. But if I was going to be out here for hours, go further, yeah, I'd have some canteens and a Camelback, and, you know, maybe a filter to draw out the creek if I needed to. And yeah, you know, be logical, use your head, common sense. You know, little snack items, Pop-Tarts or whatever, food. I mean, unless you're planning on being out here more than 12 hours, you really don't need all that. Just a little something to get you by, you know. Now this is just me doing like a woods patrol on my property. It's crazy how much things change from the fall and winter to spring, summer. And paths you think you know, it's like, oh, it disappeared. You know, so you have to kind of reorientate and find it, everything. So, you know, keep that in mind. If you're not here often enough, things change in the woods, you know, cycles of breaking down and growing and all this kind of stuff. So, you know, be advised, right? And other than that, it's just a beautiful day. I got my camo on. I'm just kind of enjoying it and walking around and taking it easy. And I'll probably play some Arma later. Or lately I've been playing Star Trek Online, Ambassador class. Way to go. And that's it. Just kind of having a pretty pleasant afternoon. It's a Sunday, so it's a good weekend. And I don't know, guys, get out there, get off your butt sometime. You know, get out in the woods if you're able to, or go to friends, families, whatever. And, you know, just do some walking around. I don't even plan on shooting, but, you know, I got a live mag here just in case. You never know, a coyote or rabid animal or some crap, or crazy person living out in the woods, you know, might be around. So, you know, better be safe than sorry. Anyways, that's it, guys. Have a good weekend. Catch you later.